So I made it. I've gone through security. I'm on my way. I'll be in Seattle in a few hours. The flight's a little bit delayed, and so I thought I'd just post a little video and clarify something I said the other day. And that was the video that I made about the teacher, Krishnamurti. I questioned the validity of his teachings on the basis that there don't seem to be people carrying his lineage. So the point I was making is that it's very important for a teacher's spiritual lineage to be preserved. And where is that preserved? That is preserved in the realization of their students. Now, in response to this, then someone posted a comment on YouTube. And I think what he was trying to say was that this is not the responsibility of the teacher. It's the responsibility of the students to put those teachings into practice, and whether or not they achieve the results is based on this. And I disagree. In fact, I disagree vehemently. It is the responsibility of the teacher to ensure that the students do put his teachings into practice. But this is the way it's taught in the Buddha Dharma anyway. It's taught that you don't teach anybody. You just teach people who are sincere, who have faith and devotion, and also who are willing to put this into practice. Especially when it comes to the Mahayana and the Vajrayana especially. Then you are not allowed to teach people who aren't actually going to make a commitment to put these things into physical practice, to actually go through the motions. And this is a problem these days, because most people are just spiritual materialists or spiritual tourists. They go to the East, they go to Dharmasala, India, Nepal, and they'll seek out all the most famous and high lamas and teachers and spend sort of many hours listening to what they have to say, and when they return to their normal lives, then do they put it into practice? No. And to my mind, this is the fault of the teacher and not of the students. Because a teacher should not teach the Dharma carelessly and just to anybody. And why is that? Because this is a primary cause for the Dharma to disappear from the world. If people receive these teachings, they don't put them into practice, and therefore do not gain the results, then the value of this precious Dharma will no longer be seen to be important. It will no longer be valued. Become commonplace. If it's just something that anybody has access to, and they don't have to make any particular kind of commitment to practice, then people will no longer see this to be something special. And this is especially a problem within the Mahamudra tradition these days, because everyone is teaching Mahamudra. And the reason why they teach this topic is because they know that it attracts many, many people. If you put up a poster saying, I'm teaching the Dzogchen or Mahamudra view, then you'll get a lot of people interested in. And also you can sell tickets, and that's what we do. We put up some high Dharma, non-duality, Mahamudra, Dzogchen, and then we put a price tag. £70 a ticket, $100 a ticket. And if you sit near the front, then it'll cost more. But this is a very worldly attitude. This is our basic Western worldly attitude, materialistic attitude. It's a commodity, it's something for sale. And there's almost nothing more harmful to the spiritual path than this way of thinking. So in the Buddha Dharma, it's taught you don't teach people who don't have sincerity and faith and devotion in this path, and also who aren't going to put these into practice. And when it comes to my own Lama, for example, then he is very careful who he allows to attend the teachings. It's almost the opposite of what we do in the West. Our main goal is to get as many viewers as possible. Our main goal is to sell as many tickets as possible. And the way we judge whether or not a teacher is a good teacher is based on whether that teacher has a lot of followers, whether they're famous or not. But that's not a good way to judge an authentic teacher, because the authentic teachers don't have a lot of students. They have very few. And these high practices are passed on from one to another in private, or to a small group of students, and not in public, in large groups. And so for this reason, then I don't teach anything online. I don't teach you how to meditate, right? I don't talk about these things. My main intention is to try and open people's eyes to the possibilities in their spiritual practice, and also to get them to question what they've heard and not just to accept the trite statements of others, but to look into it for themselves and to see whether or not this is true. And the reason why I am inspired to do that is because I can see that there are many, many, many people online teaching high views and telling people that it's basically easy. I mean, I've even seen on some of these teachers' websites, they have things like free trial, 1 month free trial. It's just like something on Amazon. It's like getting Amazon Prime, 1 month for free. After that, you start paying. It's a completely commercial venture. And this is one of the most dangerous things to the spiritual path, and the primary reason why we're losing these precious dharmas. And this is especially the case with things like the Mahamudra, because everyone is selling tickets these days. It's become a commercial venture. And not only that, but this kind of disease and spirituality is spreading to the East. Now, in places like India and Nepal, they are also selling tickets because they see the way Westerners do it. It's a way of raising funds. But there's nothing more harmful to the spiritual path. So although you may suggest, well, it's not Krishnamurti's fault that his students haven't accomplished anything, haven't realized his view, it's the fault of the students for not putting this into practice. But I suggest that if Krishnamurti had been very selective about who he taught these practices, and not only that, he kept an eye on them and made sure that they were putting his ideas into practice, then it's quite likely that there will be many more people who also realize the same level of view as he did. Now, of course, these are only my ideas. I could be wrong. That's the way I see it. But what you have to understand is it is 100% definite that it is the responsibility of the teacher to check out his students. And also the students should check out the teacher. Because it's a great fault not to do this. It's taught that not checking out the student is like drinking poison. And not checking out the teacher is like jumping from a precipice. And it's very true. It's harmful to oneself, but it's also harmful to the Dharma in general. So anyway, that's my thought on these issues. I just thought I'd post a little video because I've got time to kill. There's not much to do in an airport except for drink coffee and eat food. And if I've got some time, once I get to Seattle, then I'll try to post another video. So thank you for listening and see you next time.